Hi everybody. I'm just going to tell you from the start I have no clue where this video is going. The other day I pulled a card from Divine Circus called Maven of Masks. And it had a really interesting concept to it that I made note of as I was reading, but then couldn't put down, I guess I would say. So I'm going to read the card here and then hope to open a discussion with you about what you think. Glasses so I can see. What do you want to be? Try that on for size. You might just discover another genuine facet of you beyond your known identity. The Maven of Masks tells you, act as you wish to be, and you shall be. Fascinating already, isn't it? So it talks about feeling uncomfortable about certain things, like assertiveness, vulnerability, self-confidence, the masculine or feminine aspects of your energy. And it says that just because they seem different and new doesn't mean that they would be inauthentic, just that you haven't explored those facets of yourself yet. The Maven of Masks comes to you when it's time to try on another personality for size, to see how much of it ends up being authentically you, a newly discovered you, but authentic all the same. Have you heard the expression, fake it till you make it? Some people don't like this idea because they don't feel it's genuine. But it depends on how you use the idea to your advantage. And that's what I want to explore with you guys, to see what you think. There is a difference between pretending to be someone or something you are not, and experimenting, exploring, expressing a self you know is within you, but are yet to fully realize yourself to be. If you want to discover new qualities in you, you're going to have to start somewhere. Believe that you have undiscovered depths and diversity. And second, you have to play. Not play acting, but playing. What is it like to show up for life as if you already have all the courage and sass you long for, or all the creativity and confidence you yearn for? See yourself as that person, as having those qualities. Okay, I guess that covers the crucial parts of the card. So we know that the masks we put on for other people are not a good thing necessarily, because they are barriers, really, to keep people from knowing who we really are, because we're judging who we really are as not what people want us to be. So we put on the mask, and then we are what this person expects us to be. We may put on a different mask to be what that person expects us to be, but it's not healthy because it's not who we know we are. So when we put on the mask, we know that what we're projecting, what we're showing people, is not what we're feeling inside, is not who we really are, but it's to feel safe and to not feel judged. Now, this is saying that we may have certain qualities or certain traits that we don't feel safe enough to let out, but that may actually be good for us to explore. So, already we know inauthenticity is kind of like betraying our own souls. Our soul knows who we're supposed to be. And I think many of us go through our life frustrating the hell out of our souls because we're putting on these masks and we're play acting just to make sure that people like us, so that we can belong, so that we won't be judged. But with the fake it till you make it suggestion, this card seemed to be suggesting that you could decide something about yourself that you want to let out, to let other people see, but have not thus far felt comfortable showing. My mind is just racing. So I was also thinking about the part that says there may be things about you that are as yet undiscovered. So it's almost like it's suggesting two different things. So if you had social anxiety, now again, I'm just thinking out loud here, and you found it hard to go out into crowds of strangers, or maybe not crowds, but groups of people that you weren't familiar with, you could decide on a persona, perhaps, and assign exactly the qualities that persona has and play that role, so that you could go out in those settings and see how that role was received. I just think that's very intriguing. I personally have social anxiety. I know it may not seem like it here, but I've been doing this long enough. I'm more comfortable in front of the camera. I certainly was not at first. But if you pushed me into a room of 10 people I didn't know, I would either clam up, or I would talk so much out of nervousness that I would make a fool out of myself because I am so uncomfortable. So I'm thinking that in that example, I could come up with a part of my personality that I don't realize is there, and just act it out and fake it till I made it. And then pretty soon, if you played that role often enough, if it was authentic, it would just start to come naturally. You would integrate it. This just makes a whole lot of sense to me. So if you were talking to someone and you found yourself falling all over yourself, and you couldn't be comfortable enough to really express what you wanted to say, if you had thought ahead of time, you might have come up with a persona that was like, hey, I got this. I'm not going to have any problems here. And playing that role would allow you to then have a successful conversation. And the more and more you did that, you wouldn't have issues anymore. Is this making any sense at all? I think this is what the card is saying. Okay, this may be inappropriate, but you know how some people role play in the bedroom? From what I gather, that is so that they can express the parts of themselves when playing a role that they don't feel comfortable expressing when they're just plain old them. It's a freedom of sorts. It's playing a role that allows them to explore in bed something they wouldn't normally have tried, or to be brazen when they're normally shy. I'm not all that familiar with it, but I think it would be the same kind of thing. It would be like liberation, pretty much. So I don't really know what else to say about this, but I'd appreciate your input on whether you have a different point of view. I mean, to me, it doesn't. Okay, I'll just say, my first reaction was, wait a minute, telling people to act like something they are not. And then I thought about all the parts of myself that I now can let out that I never could when I was younger. And so I haven't done it by playing a role, but it seems like it might have been easier if I had. You know, on the channel, I have different characters. I have these cheap wigs that I bought, and I have different characters. And like when I'm Angelique, the twin flame character, I can express things that I feel about my twin that I couldn't if I were sitting face to face, you know? So there is something about playing a role that allows us to be vulnerable, because I guess somehow we would stand back knowing it's a role and we're just, you know, following the script and doing our bit. And that would allow us the freedom to really express these things that we have been keeping tamped down. I'm not sure, you guys, but this has really grabbed a hold of me. So if you feel like having some discussion, I'd love to have you comment. Let me know what you think. It doesn't seem like it would be unhealthy if it's helping you explore parts of you that really are authentic, that you just haven't felt safe enough to let out. Whereas the mask is hiding who you really are to please other people. You know, one is unhealthy for sure. The other seems like it actually could be quite beneficial. All right, I'm done rambling. Really, I would love to hear what you think about this. And I'll shut up for now. Take care. Bye.